It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is showtime. Yes, Geno Jones Showtime. I'm coming to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, about 6:31 here on the East Coast. 5:30 Chicago, everybody on Central Time, all the way up from Minneapolis to Milwaukee to Memphis, St. Louis, throw it in there, Dallas, Houston, Texas, all the way down to New Orleans. Everybody down in Mississippi, as they used to say back in the day, Mississippi, Jackson, Yazoo City, where my grandfather, maternal grandfather was from. Live in Los Angeles, and everybody on the West Coast, 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Yes, good afternoon to you. Shout out to Hawaii, all my folks way out there. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. Tell everybody you know to please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Subscribe and share, and you can screen grab, rip some of the video, click on that button, thumbs up button. Give me that thumbs up, binge watch all my back episodes, and please, if you choose to do so, if you would be so kind to support my media company. It is so important we support Black-owned media. We can tell our own stories, because nobody can tell your story better than you. And nobody's going to tell it the way you can tell it. And as my grandmother said, she said, Jeannie, if you're going to tell it all. Tell it right. Tell the truth. Tell it all and tell the truth. So that's what we do here, tell the truth, shame the devil. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Man, we had a great show last night. So make sure you go back and check out last night's show if you can. Monday, we were having car issues. So I think we just about solved that issue right there. So once again, for those who want to financially support the show, I'd love to have you as a sponsor to advertise on the show. So my email address is Geno Jones Show. That's how you spell it, Geno Jones Show on Gmail. So you can shoot me an email. I'll send you all the sponsorship information you need, or individually, or even companies. If you would like to financially make a contribution, a love offering, an angel investor, whatever you want to call it, or just break a brother off, or the show and my media company to empower my voice, my platform, and so we can continue to grow the show and the platform and speak truth to power and have a platform and a home for us as a culture and as a community. So you can Zelle me. Just use my email, Geno Jones Show at Zelle, or you can cash at me, $Dad G Jones. That's $, capital D, lowercase a-d, capital G, capital J-O-N-E-S. So the capital G and capital, so the dad, the capital D, capital, lowercase a-d, capital G, capital J, lowercase O-N-E-S on Cash App. All right, so let me get started today. And I hadn't talked about it because a lot of folks are talking about it. It's been all over. So Shannon Sharpe, NFL Hall of Famer, won 2 Super Bowl championships, one with Denver, with John Elway, who knew back then that he was on the MAGA racist-ish, because, you had the racism. They didn't call it MAGA. Who knew that was John Elway? That he was down with the bigotry and the racism and the MAGA. Now, he would deny it, but he does rock MAGA now. So maybe he got older, whatever it is. So Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest tight ends, tight end is receiver position. One of the greatest football players. In fact, he's in the Hall of Fame along with his brother, Sterling Sharpe, who, according to Shannon, was actually better than he was. So shout out to Sterling Sharpe. But anyway, so Shannon Sharpe played with the Denver Broncos, won a Super Bowl, then played with the Baltimore Ravens, won a Super Bowl with the legendary Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, that team. Then he went on, he started doing TV. He was on with a guy named Skip Bayless, Undisputed. And then Skip, really humiliated him, embarrassed him, and almost got the taste slapped out of his mouth by Shannon. because he told him to sit down and put his glasses back on. That was the end of that relationship. And Shannon went on to go over there with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, a part of First Take, and then he launched a podcast called Club Shay Shay. And one of his biggest early guests was Cat Williams. That was like in January of 2024. And boy, that was a hell of a way to start off the new year, because Cat Williams, as they say in the streets, them kids say out in them streets, Cat Williams spilled all the tea, poured it all out, just told it all. Boy, Cat Williams told it all and talked about a whole bunch of stuff and comedians and stuff about, Steve Harvey, throwing shade at Bernie Mac back in the 90s, trying to tell folks in Hollywood that, Bernie wasn't that funny, that Steve should have the jobs, Steve should be doing movies, that they were offering Bernie, which is a fact because Bernie Mac told me that to my face. We were neighbors back in the early, mid-90s. I digress. So Shannon Sharpe had Cat Williams on, and he had a whole bunch of folks. So his podcast, Club Shay Shay, he's like sitting around like in a den, he's sipping on whatever his brown liquor is, cognac or whatever. I think he's a Hennessy kind of guy, sipping on his hen or Hennessy. So the show his podcast got very, because the Cat Williams episode got millions and millions of views right here on YouTube. So Shannon Sharpe has been doing very well with his podcast, because he got a couple. He had that one, then he's got another one on at night with another NFL player named Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson. And then he's doing his gig on First Take on ESPN with Stephen A. Smith. And I heard was about to get a $100 million deal. Because he's also working with a guy named, what's my man's name? He's on, so he does a sports talk show on Colin Cowherd. Thank you, I know it was coming to me. Colin Cowherd on Fox Sports 1. You'll see it on Fox Sports about noon. Comes on noon on the East Coast, so it's 9 o'clock out in Los Angeles. So Shannon is really part of the cultural lexicon. He's part of the culture now. Unc, folks call him Unc. Uncle Shannon, or Uncle. Shay Shay, the whole 9 yards. So, now, Shannon's got an interesting kind of dude. So what was it? Sometime last year, there was Shannon claims it was accidentally, some recordings. Somehow he recorded one of his sexual encounters, and it got uploaded on social media. I forgot the woman's name that he was calling out. I can't even think of it right now. Why do I want to say it wasn't Debbie, but whatever it was. So that got out. Now, something recently that happened is not so funny. So Shannon Sharpe has been slapped with a $50 million civil lawsuit by a woman, Jane Doe. But now her picture's been out all over on social media, her picture and all these tapes. So apparently this Jane Doe, this younger white woman, I think he started dating her when she was 19. He was in his early 50s. He's like 50 or mid 50s. He's 56 now. I think she's 24. So they've been like having this, I guess, on and off consensual sexual relationship. And now all this audio's come out, but she accused him, she being Jane Doe, accused Shannon Sharpe of sexually assaulting her, of raping her, and she used her attorneys used those words. You can find that on social media on multiple occasions. Jane Doe said that this rocky relationship started back in 2023 when she was 19. So that's 2023, that's 2 years ago. So she's only 21? I saw some places she was like 23. Shannon's 56. Jane Doe, that's the name they're using in the civil lawsuit, said Shannon Sharpe violently, sexually assaulted her, and anally raped her. And that is in the official court records. So I'm not making this up. I'm not saying it for clicks and likes or to be graphic or to be sensational. This is public record. This information and that description is in the public record. She said these incidents happened 2 different times, I believe out in Las Vegas, where he blatantly ignored her request, a request for him to stop. And then I've heard audio tapes of Shannon Sharpe and Geno talking, and there's one she talked about, she asked him to use a condom before they engaged in this anal activity, and he didn't do that. So it's this audio tape, a lot of you all that's watching me now, you probably heard it, because it's like everywhere, you know. And then he talked about, you know, choking the shit out of her, and because something she did, and you know, she was like, that wouldn't be a good look. He's like, yeah, a big black man choking like a little white woman. So, man, I know, it made me have to choke almost. There's some dust in my throat. So yes, hey, shout out to Rosalind. How you doing? Oh, by the way, everybody watching right now, the show is interactive. What does that mean? Interactive? That means you can be a part of it. You can, you know, act in this thing. You got a question or a comment, jump in that live chat room right there, like Rosalind has done. And hi to you. And Rosalind, tell you, this is going to be a great episode too. So Rosalind, you might want to text your crew and your girls, your sorors, tell them they need to tune in to Geno. Go to YouTube and go to Geno Jones' YouTube channel. So that's the talk. And there's so many layers about this, and I just want to land in 2 places. Brewmaster Dre, my man, what it is upon the biz. Yo, my dude, I appreciate you watching. Send that word out, Brewmaster Dre. Tell them the Geno Jones Show is on the air, on camera, and this is must-see TV, and they don't want to miss this episode. We're over here talking about the whole Shannon Sharpe scandal. First of all, I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. Here's the bottom line. I do not know. I have. But I'm going to just share some of thoughts, perspective, opinions, speculation. Yes, you could argue maybe we shouldn't speculate. Yes, sir. Thank you, Brewmaster Dre. But the more I've read and the court documents and the more audio tape that I hear, first, let's start off here, because any kind of violence against women is unacceptable. For those of you all who have been watching my show, you know I am a true advocate against any form of violence against women, full stop. Violence against women is not a woman's problem. It is a man's problem. And we as men, we have to change the culture among each other to make it unacceptable for men to engage in any kind of violence against a woman, period, full stop. Now, I can hear some folks out there saying, well, Geno, you know, it's some women that's violent, and women beat up some women beat up some men and shoot and kill them. That's true. But the majority, there's all kind of documentation. You don't have to take my word. The data is easy to find. The majority of domestic violence cases are cases where men are the aggressors. Men are committing the violent acts against women. Vast majority. Not to mention, so many cases of domestic violence against women don't go reported. Now, some might say, well, you know, some cases of men, some cases of domestic violence upon men don't go reported because the men are ashamed. But listen, the bottom line, so we're not going to play this game, all right? We're not gaslighting. The overwhelming data, if you're serious about this, you can find it anywhere. The overwhelming data, historically and today, the overwhelming gender that are victims of domestic violence are women. Yeah, and I get it. between those in the LGBTQ community. Yes, there's domestic violence, but between gay men or lesbian women. I get it because we're not gonna play the game. Here's the bottom line: the facts. The number one victim, the majority of victims of domestic violence, are women who have been victimized by men. In probably more cases than not, it's someone they know. A lover, could be a spouse or ex-lover, or maybe someone that they haven't even had a sexual relationship, dating or whatever. Full stop. So violence against women is not a woman's problem. It is a man's problem. And men, we got to change it, period. Because a real man doesn't put his hands on a woman. And if you're with a woman that puts her hands on you, I'm going to give you the advice that my mother gave me. She said, Jeannie, when it comes to the point to where you all are considering putting your hands on each other, that is the second that you leave. It is time to go. Exit stage right, exit stage left, exit rear exit, exit front door. It is time for you to get your ass out of there, out of that relationship. Period. Full stop. No excuse. Cannot be tolerated. Won't be tolerated. It has to be. And we, as men, we have the power to create the culture in the community to where violence against women is unaccepted. And I don't care about it being mouthy or she talk too much or she too smart. All of that, I done heard all of that foolishness. I'm not buying that. Look, you don't have a right. You didn't bring her in the world. You don't own her. Even as a spouse, you don't own your spouse. Not at all. You don't own your spouse or your lover or your bae or your boo or your significant whatever. However you refer to that person that you have an intimate relationship with, it is not about ownership. And for all the men watching me, if you feel that being in a relationship sexually or because you provide financial support on whatever level, if you feel that is tantamount, if that means that you have ownership in this woman as if she is a possession, like your car or your house or your golf clubs or a flat screen TV, she is not property, then you've got this whole manhood thing and being a man all wrong. You got it all fucked up, excuse my French. And we're going to have a conversation, multiple conversations about, manhood and being a real man, because these colonizers, with their warped version of manhood, too many black men, and not just here in America, but globally, all of our countries, so many of us countries have been colonized just from our enslaved ancestors, where we were basically forced to take their language and parts of their culture. And there are too many black men in our culture, and it is not anywhere near the vast majority, because the vast majority of black men don't put their hands on women, period, full stop. But any amount of any men, period, not just black men, violence against women, regardless of whatever your ethnicity or background is, as men, as human beings, as men of all races and ethnicities and backgrounds, we got to create a culture. Real men do not put their hands on women. We don't try to control women. We don't own women. It is not a relationship about ownership. Women are not property. Women are full-bodied human beings, just like we are men. And they have their own identity and hopes and dreams and aspirations and opinions. And if you don't like their opinion, guess what? I'm sure you got some opinions they don't like. And if they are talkative, or if they are a very verbal person, or if they speak out, whatever you want to call it, some of y'all call it, women too mouthy. God gave them a mouth to talk, and they have a constitutional right, and they have a human right to speak their mind just like you do. You don't have to agree with it, and if you don't want to hear it, just leave, get out. I'm sure there are times that you run off at the mouth. They don't want to. They get tired of hearing you talk. So this goes both ways. So I wanted to establish that first and foremost. But after doing some more reading and research, this situation between Shannon Sharpe and this young woman, and shout out to Monique, because Shannon Sharpe had Monique on sometime last year, one of his guests on Club Shay Shay, and the video is out there. I wish I could play it. Pretty soon I was going to start adding video clips of different events to the show. And basically she said, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's almost a verbatim quote. She said, you need to find you an old ass woman that's going to rub your feet and basically just kind of make you feel good about yourself. She said, leave these young women of your ass, you're just too old to be running around with these 20-something-year-old women. You need to find, you need to find you a fat bitch. That's Monique's quote. Find you an old fat woman that's gonna rub your feet. And you know what? That was great advice. And a lot of people felt that was great advice. But now, after this lawsuit, this civil lawsuit accusing Shannon Sharpe of sexual assault of a young woman barely in her 20s, and this dude is 56 now. Like, Monique told you so, dude, but you didn't want to listen. Because he was like, man, dating is hard, Monique, and what am I going to do? And she was just point blank. He said, what? Say it. So, Monique, you ain't got to really tell her. She going to say it. If it's on her mind, if she going to think it, she going to say it. But she told him the truth. Stop running around with these young girls, man. You're too old for that. Get you an old, fat, you know what. It's going to rub your feet. So, Shay, you should have listened to Monique, dude. That's all. Well, I said a lot, but you should have listened to Monique, first thing. Let me just segue to the second part of this. Choose your mates carefully. Choose your lovers carefully. Choose your spouses. Choose who you sleep with carefully. The Isley Brothers. Shout out to Mr. Big. Ronald Isley had a big hit back in the 80s. Choosy lover. Choosy lover. If you're going to have a lover, if you're going to be a lover, you need to be a choosy lover and choose wisely. Because you choose wrong, you can wind up in a situation like Shannon Sharpe. Now, I could throw shade, because this is a young white girl. Let's say, I could go Dr. Umar Johnson. That's what you get for, playing in the snow and the snow bunnies. Some folks are like, she too damn young, being a white girl is one thing, but she too damn young. What you old, that 56-year-old? Like, Allie's 23. And it's Shannon Sharpe's old ass showed up at my door. I don't give a damn how much he can bench press. I don't give a damn about being a former Hall of Famer. I would beat his ass if I had to pick up something and beat the shit out of him. I do not give a damn. And yes, she's grown, but dude, what do you want? Dude, your old ass with my 23-year-old daughter, and I don't wait, well, she grown. She grown, but she's my daughter. So what does that say about your ass? You need therapy. You need to see a therapist. Why are you dating this 20? Come on, man. Stop. You can't find like nobody even close, even in a like mid-50s, mid-30s. Yeah, okay, I can hear somebody saying, well, the former Patriots coach Bill Belichick, his girlfriend is in her like mid-20s. He's 72. His ass is trifling too. Oh, God forbid Allie brought a 72-year-old. You bring somebody around older than me, I'ma really beat his ass down. Instantly. Instantly. Come on, man. Stop that. Just because you may be legally grown doesn't mean that you have matured. You know, the human brain doesn't fully develop the portion with logic and rational thought until you in your mid-20s anyway. So this girl, she is still developing. And you're gonna exploit that. And if you listen to some of these recordings, and it's like, why was she recording this dude? So this whole situation is shaky. But the bottom line is, I just wanted to speak to larger issues and the issue against domestic violence. And we as men, we as a culture of men, and the misogyny and the sexism, which is a huge part of the last election and why people didn't want to vote for a woman and a black woman. And there was a very small number, but a small number nonetheless, unfortunately, of black men who bought into the misogyny and sexism. Very small, but even 15%, 18% was way too much. Now I know the vast number of white men that voted against her that was misogynist and racist was huge. The vast majority of these white dudes bought into the racism and the sexism and the misogyny. Full stop. So in no way am I comparing the racism and, well, the misogyny that these bros, you know, this bro culture and these bros listening to Joe Rogan and all of that old nonsense and that bullshit, I am not comparing it. But sexism and misogyny is sexism and misogyny, period. And it doesn't know color. So if you're a black man, an Asian man, Native American, Hispanic, Latino, because in that culture, yes, unfortunately, and this is according to Hispanic women, who, because a lot of them are, a significant number are afraid to speak out about that. But yes, misogyny and sexism is a huge problem in the Hispanic community also. And it's obvious it's a huge problem among white men. As a matter of fact, the founding fathers, the original dudes that wrote the Constitution, they said all men were created equal. Not all people. Didn't mention, women were never mentioned in the original Constitution. So you had sexism and misogyny on display in the original founding document establishing this country as a nation. The Constitution was sexist and misogynist on paper. So who could be surprised if men felt that, you know, misogyny and sexism wasn't a thing? It was just, hey, this is the way it is. Women are beneath us. That was the attitude that they have, and unfortunately, there are too many men that have that attitude now. And but here's the hypocritical part about that. Significant number of these same misogynist and sexist men that have daughters, let a dude come in with some misogynist, sexist bullshit or attempt to be violent toward their daughters, then all that misogyny and sexism shit will fly right out the window. Because they can be as misogynist and sexist as they want to with somebody else's daughter, but damn it, you better not treat my daughter in a misogynist or sexist or violent way, because then we're going to have a problem. Then you're going to want to fight, you're going to want to shoot him, but you don't think the karma that you put out into the world is not coming back to you? The misogyny and the sexism that you engaged in and inflicted upon women throughout the course of your life, you didn't think that karma was going to find its way back to you and affect a woman in your life that you loved and care about, i.e. your daughter or your sister or your mother. As my grandmother said, God don't like ugly. He ain't too crazy about pretty. But he definitely don't like ugly. And karma is real, period. You don't have to believe in God, in Jesus, in Muhammad, in Abraham, in Jehovah. You don't have to believe in no higher power. But just keep living long enough. Karma is real. Karma is just the energy. We all have, our spirit is just energy. It's the energy that we release. You can't see it, but you can feel it in a lot of cases. People can feel it. I know I can. I can pick up on somebody got negative energy. Their spirit is not right. Negative, evil. It's like walking into a fence, a fort. I can feel it. Somebody walk in the room, spirit. Yeah. Keep an eye, that one ain't good. Let me just exit stage left right here. So as a culture, as men, we really got to be honest. Because there are a couple generations, especially one that like this Gen Z culture, these Gen Z men, young dudes in their 20s, some in their 30s. They call them incels, involuntary, which is short for involuntary celibate. Sitting around in their mama's basement or attic. And look, I'm not knocking. If you love video games, fine. I hope if you're that good at it, you're making money. But you got this whole bro culture that is extremely sexist, extremely misogynistic, violence. It's okay for men to be violent toward women and just to talk to women and to view women as inferior and as an object or as a possession to be owned and controlled, which is a sign of insecurity. And they wonder why they can't find a woman. You wonder why your ass is celibate involuntarily? What woman would want to be bothered with your ass? You have to get your shit together. Get yourself together as a man. Figure out who you are. Who taught you that foolishness? Who taught you that women were inferior and women were just objects to be owned, controlled, to be used sexually or whatever way, at your beck and call, at your convenience, and then to be discarded when you had no more use for them. Because if a woman treated you that way, you would be screaming to the heavens. Because you incels are screaming to the heavens. All women think they're better than. Well, you know what? Some of you, they are better than some of y'all trifling ass. I got 2 daughters, a bunch of them. I wouldn't want none. If you came around them, I would send your ass. I'd be like, you brought this trifling ass. Oh, well, they know they wouldn't do. They know better. They wouldn't do that. But just really, you have all these insecurities that you need to fix yourself. You need to deal with yourself. You need to heal yourself. And the first step is you have to be honest. You have to raise your hand and you have to own your stuff. Own your shit. Truly know who you are and realize, because we all of us, myself included, present company included, we all are a work in progress. And as my mother taught me one day, she said, Jeannie, you can't always be right. It can't always be your way. And she was right. So, man, it can't always be your way. You can't always be right. Trust me, I am a May Taurus. I'm the king of always want to be right and never want to be wrong. But I'm glad I had somebody in my life to check me, to check my ass and be like, yo, okay, You've been successful, you're smart, blah, blah, but you, you ain't that smart. You can't always be right. Nobody, I don't care the most brilliant person, they're not always right, and it can't always be your way. Would you want to be in a relationship with a woman to where everything, it was always her way all the time, to where she didn't even consider or think about your feelings? And if you're watching me right now, you're saying, well, you know, yeah, I got a woman like that, then you are in the wrong relationship, partner. And then you need to ask yourself, then why the hell are you in a relationship with somebody that makes you feel less than you are? That makes you feel inferior, that emasculates you. Because you control that. You control, if you allow a woman to make you feel like you're less than a man, that's on you. Because if that's what she is doing, at the end of the day, you have control of your emotions and your feelings. You get to choose on whether or not to allow this person to have an influence. And I don't care how fine she is. I don't care how great the sex is. I don't care if she letting you, live rent-free, drive around her brand new car, whatever bullshit you on. If you are in a relationship, and that applies to women, men or women, if you are in a relationship with somebody that makes you feel less than who you really are in your heart, if they make you feel less than a man or less than human, or if you feel that you have to shrink to be in the relationship, that you have to get smaller, that you can't be your full self and speak freely and be the best version of yourself, you, my friend, you are in the wrong relationship and you need to get out. But what you need to do is to ask yourself, why are you attracted to that kind of relationship? What is it about yourself that you need to fix, that you need to get help, that you need to speak to a therapist or somebody? Because at the end of the day, the only person that truly controls your happiness is you. We all get to make a choice. People can do all kind of crazy stuff to piss us off, but at some point, we are in a choice. We are in a position and we get to choose, okay, just piss me off. I'm really pissed off. And I got some stuff I got to say. I want to get off my chest. But at some point, it's like, okay, you know what? I need to move on. If I'm really that pissed off about this person or this situation, if I'm really that pissed off, then I need to move on. And if you're in a situation where you can't move on physically, you're being kidnapped, you need to call the police. Being kidnapped, you need to call the cops. So, bottom line, violence against women, physically, mentally, emotionally, unacceptable. Violence against any human, but I'm speaking to men right now as a man. Violence against women is not a woman's problem, it's a man's problem. And we collectively, as a culture of men, we got to check each other. Make it unacceptable. I don't care. You can be fraternity brothers. You can be biological brothers, dudes that you play basketball with or golf with or watch the game or whatever. Or travel, you go to different countries, go to Brazil to find y'all some women or whatever. But there's got to be certain, like this bro code, man code. Well, one of the number one man code on that man code list, that should be right at the top, on the top line. Violence against women, unacceptable, period. Exclamation point, period, full stop. That is not accepted in the culture. And if you engage in it, we can't be cool no more. I don't care if you are biological brother, frat brother, neighbor, whoever, mentor, mentee, teammate. No, we don't tolerate that, dude. We need to talk about it. You need some help, just somebody to talk to. You need a therapist. Whatever it is you need to do, you need to get out. I need to come get you. Send an Uber over there, whatever it is. we as men have to make violence against women unacceptable. And we as men and women, choose your mate carefully. Choose your lover carefully. Choose your spouse carefully. And in closing, thank you to everybody watching today. And in closing, 56-year-old dudes, stop messing with women in their early 20s. Just stop it. Now, I know I can hear the fellas, oh, come on, Geno, you coming down on the men. What about the women? Listen, nobody gets a pass here. Nobody gets a pass on the show. The same rules apply. Absolutely, they absolutely positively do. As I step off camera here for just a second, they do. I mean, and of course, look, you grown, do you, but really, 56 and 19, 56 and 22, 70, what's Bill Belichick, 72, 73, and 27 or 28. Okay, really? Come on. Monique said it best. Your ass, old ass, get you an old woman to rub your feet, you know. And maybe some of the women, maybe get you an older guy to rub your feet. But just come on. Choose your mate carefully. All right, let me get out of here. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please, before I sign off, I want to give some more shout-outs. So jump in my chat room. Let me know. Give me a shout-out. Or give me your name. Type your name or where you're watching the show so I can shout you out on camera real quick. Once again, big shout-out to my man, Groove Master Dre. Shout-out to Rosalind. Thank you, Rosalind. Rosalind Anderson, everybody watching the show, and a whole bunch of other people I know that's watching right now. Jump in that chat room. Let me know who's watching. Monday through Friday, live, 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Central Time. Hello, Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Memphis, Dallas, Houston, New Orleans, St. Louis, 5:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles and up and down the West Coast from San Diego to the Bay Area to Seattle to Portland, Oregon. 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday live. And if you missed any episode, go to my YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Tell everybody you know I am like about 165 new subscribers away from becoming a YouTube partner. That means my media company will begin to get a check every month from YouTube. So thank you for your support. I've been going at this four and a half years now. Live 5 days a week, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I look forward to it every day. So thank you for helping my media company grow and the TV show grow. So tell everybody you know to please subscribe to the channel and support the show. Support my media company financially so I can continue to speak truth to power, have great guests, have a platform to have conversations like we're having today that need to be had, to say the things that need to be said to who needs to hear it, when they need to hear it, like right now, because we are living in those times. So if you would like to make a financial contribution, if you'd like to make a financial offering, financial blessing, love offering, whatever you want to call it, angel investor, you can Zelle me or Cash App. Zelle me, use my email address, Geno Jones Show. That's how you spell it. No just Geno Jones Show at Gmail. That's Zelle. You can Cash at me at $Dad G Jones. So that's $ capital D, lowercase AD, capital G, capital JONES. The ONES is all lowercase. It's all one word on Cash App. $Dad, capital D, lowercase AD, capital G, capital J, lowercase ONES. Dad G Jones, all one word. That's a Cash App. Shout out to Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro area. Check him out and listen and check out Designer Cuts. The Master Barber's Master Barber. Haircut, hair maintenance, hair restoration, hair hookup, whatever it is, hair wash. If it got anything to do with hair and a haircut, Markel Bailey and his team can get you hooked up like some good old bootleg cable. Check him out on Instagram on IG, KELBECUTTINUP, Kelby Cutting Up. Allie Jones, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. You can check her and her Lexi Jones collection out on Instagram, on IG, LX.NCL_LX.NCL_. And big shout out to Bruce Gage, the Mario Uomo collection. See that? Can you see that tag there? Yep, Mario Uomo. This jacket, part of the Mario Uomo collection. On Instagram, Mario Uomo. You just saw it, M-A-R-I-O, Uomo. Uomo is U-O-M-O on Instagram, or Bruce Gage on Facebook. Thank you, everybody. All right, Rosalind, Groomaster Dre, everybody else watching, thank you for watching. Be sure to copy and paste the link. You can share this episode. You can tag everybody that follows you, all your followers or fans or whatever, all your family. Tell them, please, to subscribe to the channel so I can go ahead and become this YouTube partner, and my media company will start getting this check from YouTube, get that YouTube bag every month, help my company grow. Supporting Black-owned media, it is so important. And speaking of supporting my media company, I'd love to have you as a sponsor. Geno Jones Show at Gmail. Email me your contact information, and I'll email you back. I'll reply with sponsorship information, set up a meeting, and you can Zelle me or you can Cash App me. One time, you can do it, set it recurring every pay period, whatever. No amount is too small or too large. You can Zelle me at my email address, Geno Jones Show. That's how you spell it, Geno Jones Show. No the. Geno Jones Show on Zelle, or you can Cash App. Once again, $ capital D is Dad G Jones. Capital D, lowercase a-d, capital G, capital J-O-N-E-S, lowercase O-N-E-S. Capital D, lowercase a-d, capital G, capital J, lowercase O-N-E-S. All one word, just like Geno Jones Show at Gmail. All one word, $ Dad G Jones, all one word, Cash App. You could do that now. You could do it, what today is, if it's payday, if it was payday, you can do it now. And I thank you in advance. I thank everybody that has, and I thank you all for your financial support, sponsorship, City Vibes Bar and Lounge, 9730 Dorchester Road here in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. Big shout out to Kenya and Corey Williams. The Crate Group, one of the top nonprofits, sponsored the show. My man Kendrick Williams, Brother Al, the CEO of the Crate Group. Check out that nonprofit. They're doing great work and have been doing great work for over 3 decades. CRATE, thecrategroup.org. And shout out to Carissa Carter, CM Transportation, one of the top transportation companies in America. Black-owned, owned by a black woman. Family. Carissa Carter, Corey. All right, Corey, appreciate you. Kendrick, I appreciate you. Corey and Kenya, I appreciate you guys too. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and I love you. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. live in Los Angeles and the West Coast. If you missed any of this episode or any episode, all of my episodes are right here on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to wrap up, and I will see you live Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. In the meantime, go back and binge watch all my back episodes. Once again, last night was fire all week long. Every episode is fire. So thanks for watching, everybody.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.